And today's topic, we're going back into what is self-determination. And this is actually part two. So, what is self-determination part two. So, we're gonna get in. All right, so let's get it. So I'm gonna play this right here, and then we're gonna go into this. Break it down. The heck, Zena, turn that down. All right. Zena, we turn that down, man. Damn noise. Excuse me, y'all. All right, so let's get it. Self-determination. Part two.
Self-determination. All peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. UNPO's members are indigenous peoples, minorities, unrecognized states, and occupied territories that have joined together to promote their right to self-determination, while also defending their political, social, and cultural rights and preserving their environments. What is self-determination? Essentially, the right to self-determination is the right of a people to determine its own destiny. In particular, the principle allows a people to choose its own political status and to determine its own form of economic, cultural, and social development. Exercise of this right can result in a variety of different outcomes ranging from political independence through to full integration within a state. The importance lies in the right of choice, so that the outcome of a people's choice should not affect the existence of the right to make a choice. In practice, however, the possible outcome of an exercise of self-determination will often determine the attitude of governments towards the actual claim by a people or nation. Thus, while claims to cultural autonomy may be more readily recognized by states, claims to independence are more likely to be rejected by them. Nevertheless, the right to self-determination is recognized in international law as a right of process, not of outcome, belonging to peoples and not to states or governments. The preferred outcome of an exercise of the right to self-determination varies greatly among the members of UNPO. For some of our members, the only acceptable outcome is full political independence. This is particularly true of occupied or colonized nations. For others, the goal is a degree of political, cultural, and economic autonomy, sometimes in the form of a federal relationship. For others yet, the right to live on and manage a people's traditional lands free of external interference.
Pause. Yeah, see, the federal relationship, that's like with the so-called Indians, how, they got them under federal law, federal statutes. Nah, we want to be under international law. You know what I'm saying? And have international protections, be an internationally protected class. Not that federal stuff. International law is higher than federal statutes. So once you become into international law, the federal government and the state government has to respect the international law, because these are laws among nations, not among states or federal jurisdictions. These are national jurisdictions. You know what I'm saying? More so than state or federal. So we don't want to fall into that federal trap and take those federal benefits and all that good stuff, because that's how they got the so-called Indians trapped on the reservations. So we want to be on this land right here where we at, and we gonna enjoy this shit just like everybody else is enjoying it. You know what I'm saying?
Interference and incursion is the essential aim of a struggle for self-determination. Other members, such as Taiwan and Somaliland, have already achieved a high level or full self-determination, but are yet to be recognized as independent states by the international community. Self-determination in international law, the principle of self-determination is prominently embodied in Article 1 of the Charter of the United Nations. Earlier, it was explicitly embraced by U.S. President Woodrow Wilson, by Lenin and others, and became the guiding principle for the reconstruction of Europe following World War I. The principle was incorporated into the 1941 Atlantic Charter and the Dumbarton Oaks Proposals, which evolved into the United Nations Charter. Its inclusion in the UN Charter marks the universal recognition of the principle as fundamental to the maintenance of friendly relations and peace among states. It is recognized as a right of all peoples in the first article common to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, which both entered into force in 1976. Paragraph 1 of this article provides: all peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. The right to self-determination of peoples is recognized in many other international and regional instruments, including the Declaration of Principles of International Law concerning friendly relations and cooperation among states adopted by the UN General Assembly in 1970. 2. The Helsinki Final Act adopted by the Conference on Security and Cooperation in Europe, CSCE, in 1975. 3. The African Charter of Human and People's Rights of 1981. 4. The CSCE Charter of Paris for a New Europe adopted in 1995, and the Vienna Declaration and Program of Action of 1993. 6. It has been affirmed by the International Court of Justice in the Namibia Case 7, the Western Sahara Case 8, and the East Timor Case 9, in which its erga omnes character was confirmed. Furthermore, the scope and content of the right to self-determination has been elaborated upon by the UN Human Rights Committee 10, and the Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination 11, and numerous leading international jurists. That the right to self-determination is part of so-called hard law has been affirmed also by the International Meeting of Experts for the Elucidation of the Concepts of Rights of Peoples brought together by UNESCO from 1985 to 1991. 12. It came to the conclusion that 1. People's rights are recognized in international law. 2. The list of such rights is not very clear, but also that 3. Hard law does in any event include the right to self-determination and the right to existence, in the sense of the Genocide Convention. The inclusion of the right to self-determination in the International Covenants on Human Rights and in the Vienna Declaration and Program of Action, referred to above, emphasizes that self-determination is an integral part of human rights law which has a universal application. At the same time, it is recognized that compliance with the right of self-determination is a fundamental condition for the enjoyment of other human rights and fundamental freedoms, be they civil, political, economic, social, or cultural. The concept of self-determination is a very powerful one. As Wolfgang Dansbecker put it, no other concept is as powerful, visceral, emotional, unruly, as steep in creating aspirations and hopes as self-determination. It evokes emotions, expectations, and fears which often lead to conflict and bloodshed. Some experts argued that the title...
Pause. You heard that part right there? It said, the concept of self-determination is a very, very powerful one. As Wolfgang Dan Spackberger, whatever put it, no other concept is as powerful, viscerally, emotional, unruly, as steep in control in creating aspirations and hopes as self-determination. It invokes emotions, expectations, and fears, which often lead to conflict and bloodshed. Now, the reason why I wanted to pause on that, especially the part about leads to fears, conflicts, and bloodshed. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yesterday. I'm on the line, and I don't be quoting people's names because people be trying to use people's names for clout and all that. Like every time certain people do a live, they want to start off with my name. Yo, yeah, Brother Lord Messiah said that. And then they go into the rants about how the white man did this, that, and the third, and these motherfuckers been doing this for all these years. And then shut up with that corny shit. Nobody want to hear that shit, man. Niggas know that shit, man. Like, how long niggas gonna reiterate that shit? You mad? You mad? You stuck on that shit? Like, fuck out of here, man. No, I'm not saying that we don't have a righteous anger as far as for like slavery in the past and all of that shit. But if you ain't gonna productively do something to counteract that shit, then you're just speaking a lot of hate and anger, and you want people to follow you. And you're gonna get a lot of people out here caught up in your blind rage for justice, which is really misdirected energy. You know what I mean? I don't move like that. I study and I activate chess. I'm not dealing with checkers. Shit is chess, not checkers. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I said to the brother, because he keeps talking about all of this, making this public announcement, and all we got to do is make our statement, and we're going to tell them it's like this, and they're going to have to respect our rights, or they're going to get these hands. Nigga. You know how immature that sounds? You know what I'm saying? You talk about rebelling against a government that has a military, you know what I'm saying, called the army. They have, and this is not fear talk, this is not fear mongering, this is reality talk. It's like saying, like, dude, like if I'm your man's, right, and you like drunk or something, because niggas must be drunk talking the dumb shit they be saying. If I'm your man's and we hanging out, right, and you drunk, right, you not really thinking right or whatever, right, and then you get into a fight with, you get into some altercation with some big ass dude and shit. This nigga like 2-3 times your size. One punch, this nigga can knock you the fuck out. If I'm your man's and I sit there and let you go and fight this dude, knowing you don't really have a good chance of winning and you drunk, come on, man. I'm not your man's, yo, if I'm gonna sit there and let you go and get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's not wise. It's not how generals move. You know what I'm saying? So if you the chief and commander, so how you speaking so authoritatively, all we gotta do is and they don't respect our rights, they gonna get these hands. Really, nigga, how you gonna come to a gunfight with your hands? Really? You punching bullets now? Nigga, you Neo in the Matrix now, nigga? Like, come on, man. We gotta stop this movie shit. Like, what you Neo in the Matrix now? You dodging bullets now? Punching bullets and shit? Come on, man. Get these hands. You going, it's like I weigh 160 and I'm trying to sumo wrestle a motherfucker that weigh 1,000 pounds. I think I'm gonna knock him out the square. I think I'm gonna move him past the line. Really? Okay. So you out here talking about, yo, you're gonna get these hands. All right. So when they call in the whole police department, if y'all that tough, if they need to do all that, call the whole police department, call in the National Guard. Damn, these niggas is real tough. Oh shit, call in the Marines. These niggas is real tough. Call in the Navy, call in the Air Force. Damn, now they got the police station, the sheriff department, the National Guard, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force. And we standing there with our hands. Like, yo, son, fuck all of that. Fuck all that. They gonna get these hands. See what I'm saying, y'all? That's y'all commander-in-chief? That's the dude you want to follow? Okay, go ahead. Yo, all we got to do is make this statement, and all we got to do is these motherfuckers been killing us and lynching us and doing this for years. Man, shut up, man. Niggas be smoking niggerettes. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be smoking cigarettes, a.k.a. niggerettes. Motherfuckers can't even run from their house to the end of the block without being like, oh shit, out of breath. How the fuck you think you challenging military motherfuckers that be running for miles without running out of breath? Really? Okay. Oh shit, yo, it's getting too deep. We gotta retreat. Come on, let's run. Niggas run down the block. Nigga, everybody tired. Niggas smoke so many Black and Miles and blunts all day. Niggas drinking and shit. All out of shape. Fuck that, son. They're gonna get these hands. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. You know what I mean? They got missiles, tanks, guns. Oh, fuck that. They're gonna get these hands. Anyway, let me not spend too much time on that because it's interrupting my build. But the point of what I was trying to say about the brother was he was trying to tell, this is what I was mentioning. He's talking about, people talk about, we don't need no permits. We don't need no this, we don't that. I said, yo, man, whether you like it or not, do you realize if you make a public gathering and you're like over like 100 or more people, or whatever the case may be, or the thousands of people that you want to show up, or if you got that much magnetic, 1 million man march, and you have no permit by the city, the government, whoever needs to be notified or whatever, bro, goddamn well, they gonna investigate that as some kind of, whoa, my God, all these Black people, what are they doing? Oh, they're trying to take over? What is this, a coup? Whoa, what is some revolution going on? Bro, they're gonna come and shut it down. You guys don't have a permit. You guys have to disperse. You're not permitted to have this public gathering. Yo, we ain't going nowhere. Fuck that shit. Y'all gonna respect our rights, so y'all gonna get these hands. Okay. Then they pull out the billy clubs, start going upside niggas' heads and shit. Yo, see these devils? See what they do, y'all? See, this is what I'm talking about. Yo, man, get out of here with that shit, man. I see fucking Moors get snatched up by the cops and shit. Niggas be sitting there talking about this isn't right. This section the violation of code. This isn't right. You can't do that. I'm a Moorish American. I'm a sovereign. I'm a national. I'm a Meanwhile, this nigga getting hemmed up. They snatch this nigga all up, violating them. Yo, you can't do this. I'm a national. I'm a sovereign. Yo, y'all stop that shit, man. That's not cool, y'all. That's not cool. And the reason why they're able to do that is because whenever they run whatever name you give them in that system, if that shit don't pop up and say you are of such and such nation, you have such and such status, blah 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 blah, you're an internationally protected person, then guess what? They're gonna treat you under their state statutes, and under the state statutes, due to that state ID you gave them, you're considered state property, and they have custody over you. So they're gonna treat you like a child, not like a sovereign king. You know what I'm saying? So get your paperwork right, man. That's what the fuck I'm trying to tell niggas. Everybody talking about, we don't need to do shit. We don't need to do none of that. We don't need to. All we gotta do is tell these people that make a verbal statement. Like, come on. And then as I'm on the phone with this dude, and I said, yo, you think that hasn't been done before? Ain't nobody ever done it. I said, yo, bro, the Nation of Islam. Do you not know what the fucking Million Man March was? They made a whole million, gathered over a million people. And quote unquote, the Minister of Farrakhan, he made a statement speaking about autonomy and how they're supposed to be autonomous, meaning self-governed, self-rule, declaring self-determination, basically. You know what I mean? And still, no disrespect to the NOI, but I'm just saying, still, the Nation of Islam members have an X at the end of their name. You know what the X means? It means unknown. If you are unknown, if you're a whole nation of X's, a whole nation of unknown people who don't have their holy names, because according to, Elijah Muhammad, they had to make their pilgrimage to Mecca to get their holy names and so forth. But Muhammad Ali didn't make his pilgrimage to Mecca. He got his holy name. And what holy name was that? That was a Moorish name, Ali, which is one of the names of the 5 civilized tribes. That's a Moorish name, a Moorish descendants. So basically, he nationalized Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali declared his nationality as a Moor, and was wearing a fez, just like Elijah Muhammad wore the fez. Malcolm X actually made his pilgrimage, and that's why he got his holy name, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, the God King of the pilgrimage King of the God tribe. You know what I'm saying? Which is what that means. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and the thing is too, like, and certain members of the NOI nationalized and became like elites within the NOI. Meanwhile, the majority or masses of the NOI still had the X, and they did not have their holy names, but they were registered Muslims. What were they registered under? A 501c3 program, which was enacted by Lyndon B. Johnson. Mm-hmm. And that 501c3 was a plan to give all religious organizations grants. And part of the stipulation of them getting that grant was that they can't speak on political issues, this, that, and the third, stuff like that. That's why when Farrakhan tried to deal with Omar Gaddafi and all of that, they tried to stop him and seize him from getting the money that Omar Gaddafi was trying to send him and stuff like that. Why? Because you had those governmental grants, and that would have been considered a conflict of interest. Because remember, they told you can't be dealing in these political associations and affiliations and so forth and da 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 da. So he was breaking the rules. So they didn't allow that. You see what I'm saying? So you see how that 501c3 puts a hindrance on your organization? So anyway, and that's why when they talk about self-autonomy or self-determination, bro, if you contracted into a 501c3, you can't be sovereign. You know what I'm saying? You can't. They telling you can't. Because if you were sovereign, you'd be able to say what you want to say, speak on the issues you want to speak on, deal and associate with whoever you want to associate with, and you wouldn't be under some kind of contractual agreement where you can't. So that's the science. We got to understand everything is about a contract. Everything is a contract. So these things are agreements. These are contracts. So when I present this Universal Peace Treaty, this is to bring my nation into an international forum. Now I'll be under international contracts. What are these international contracts? The Universal Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, all of these type of things. All of these things that declare universal rights for our people. You know what I mean? So that's what it is, and that's what it's about. You know what I mean? So that's what we're dealing with. Self-determination. So like I said, now about the bloodshed and all that, leading to conflict and bloodshed. So I said, now, if all of these people out here, and now everybody is not willing to fight against the police, everybody don't have all that hate and all of that. Yo, these motherfuckers been doing that for all these years and da 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 da. Half of these motherfuckers that might join with you, these niggas is watching television where they telling lies to their vision and they believe all this kind of bullshit. So when shit pop off and is ready to go down, they're not gonna be ready to stand the way you may be ready to stand if you really even about that life. They're not going to be a necessarily majority. We ain't going to be about that life. So like I said, Sister Soldier, she said it the best. You know, she was out there, she said, I've been in a situation where I'm out there talking about black pumping the fist, talking about black power. And I look behind me and ain't nobody talking about no black power. So, you know, you got to realize when you put yourself in situations like that, man, you got to be wise, man. It's chess, not checkers. Niggas out here playing chess. Yo, checkers. Yo, we gonna do this, and if they do that, then they gonna get these hands. Okay, but you didn't counteract the fact that, well, your hands can't beat guns or missiles or tanks or bombs or any of those other faculties they could bring out. So like when they playing chess, it's like they got a whole chess board, the whole chess set up on their side, and we got a checker set up on our side. We playing checkers over here, and they making moves like chess. They pulling out bishops, they pulling out the queen, they pulling out the knight. You know what I'm saying? They got their rooks on the side ready to charge, like, and a king is protected, like, man. And we trying to get to the other side to become a king. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference. They starting off as a king. We trying to get to the other side to become a king. And that's very, very hard when you're playing with little checker pieces against chess pieces. You getting ate up on the board. What can you do? It's like, really, what can you do? You might get a pawn here and there. That's about it. You know, if you could play checkers versus chess. You know what I mean? Like, and actually, technically, you could. And like I said, you'll get ate up because you know what I mean? But anyway, so that's how it goes, man. So I said, so that situation with them being out there making this big public gathering without a permit, because according to Mr. We don't need this and that. We don't need a permit. All we got to do is come out there. We're going to be dressed royally and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, nigga, you can be dressed all nice. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But still don't have a permit to be out there. So you're going to be considered to be disturbing the peace, causing a public disturbance, whatever case may be, and they're going to lock everybody up under that. Now you got everybody out there and you got them locked up because you didn't plan shit properly. Because you want to be a loose cannon. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be the one who runs out in the crowd in the middle of a gunfight with one little pistol. You want to do that, and you want people to follow you. So that's what I'm talking about, man. You gotta be careful, man. These people you be listening to, man. A lot of people be sitting around, caught up in their emotions. Yes, they have intelligence, because the brother I'm talking about is very intelligent. And even after all the shit he talked to me, I done gave this nigga money on his birthday and all that shit. I don't even know this brother like that. And I bless him for the fact of, I appreciated the fact of he constructed the Constitution that he constructed, which is very ingenious. And I give him a lot of credit for that. But what do brothers, and I share so much information with you. You know, I bring you on my show, I invite you as a guest, I let you speak about your Constitution and get it out there for whoever the masses ain't really listening to type of stuff, but the intelligent ones that do tune into this, you're getting it out there with them. So then you could possibly get some people to come and help you build and do what you do. But the reality is you don't want people to help you build. You're on some dictator shit. You talk about being a leader, but you're not really a leader. You're a dictator. And like I say, I'm a man. I don't take no other man's dictation. You better talk that shit to your queen. You give your queen your dictation. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I will put this out there too. Like one time I called Young Pharaoh show. You know what I'm saying? That shit on some real shit, man. Truth be told, that shit kind of hurt my feelings, my man. Because I don't know, he's going through some shit right now, whatever, I don't know. You know, he got some stuff going on in his life and all that. And when I called into the show, I guess he was on his high horse on some I'm like, yo, bro, I'm trying to treaty with you, build with you. I got a lot of legal expertise, a lot of things I could offer and treaty with your nation. yeah, bro, man, I hear that, but man, if you ain't trying to get over here, you know what I'm saying, get in line and follow orders and get down with our nation and man, you know what I'm saying, I ain't really trying to fuck with nobody, man, and okay. You know what I'm saying? And then right after that, a brother had called in. He was like, "Yo, see, man, we got a problem, man. We don't unite with our peoples." And he was like trying to indirectly tell him, like, "Yo, that was fucked up how you just talked to that last caller. That brother just called your show and offered you arms. Say offered you peace treaty, offered to treaty with you and build with you." And you gonna get on your arrogant, yo, if you ain't willing to come over here, get down and get in line and follow orders and da 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 da. Like, really, bro? Like, who the fuck you think you talking to? Like, I'm not one of them niggas over there. Yes, man. Yo, is this right? Yeah, yep. Yo, is that right? Yep. I'm not a yes man. Nigga, that's not me. So sorry, you got the wrong one for that. And like I say, the other brother I'm talking about, he's like that as well, man. I'm like, yo, a lot of niggas running around here on some dictator shit. Nigga, you ain't even got no army, but you acting like you dictating some shit. Like I said, dictate that shit to your queen, bro, because I'm not your queen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you run your dictation to your queen. I'm not on that, man. You know what I mean? So, like I say, you would lead the people out into a conflict and impossible bloodshed. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not a chess player. You're not a king. You're thinking like a pawn. You're thinking like a chess piece trying to become a king. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference, bro. Let's continue.
ICT and bloodshed. Some experts argued that the title holders should be or are limited in international law. Others believed in the need to limit the possible outcome for all or categories of title holders. Ultimately, the best approach is to view the right to self-determination in its broad sense, as a process providing a wide range of possible outcomes dependent on the situations, needs, interests, and conditions of concerned parties. The principal and fundamental right to self-determination of all peoples is firmly established in international law.
Right.
10.
Pause. So you heard that right there? It says ultimately the best approach to view the right of self-determination is in its broad sense as a process providing a wide range of possible outcomes depending upon the situation, needs, interests, and conditions of the concerned parties. See what I'm saying? So in other words, if you're going to make a declaration of self-determination and you're going to declare that to the world, you have to take into consideration the situations, needs, interests, and conditions of the parties concerned, of the concerned parties. So in other words, if you got in your constitution where you say, okay, we declaring our sovereignty, but yet we can still work if we choose. Now, if you wanted to do something like that, you could, but I would more so say, instead of you just trying to create your own thing or your own way of saying that, which is not recognized yet, do something like give a reference to something that which is already a set precedence, like say, for example, like in case law. You know how you win in case law is by like arguing case law. Is like, okay, you'll say, well, according to so-and-so versus so-and-so in 1959, they declared that blah, 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 blah. Then the judge will say, yes, I'm aware of that case law. But in 1989, it was decided that such and such and such and such. Yeah, you're right. I'm aware of that too, Your Honor. But you know what, too? I did some further research, and it says that in 2019, just last year, 2 years ago, and this was the most recent decision, Your Honor. It says that such and such and da 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 da, which overruled the prior decision of da 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 back in 1989 or whatever, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And now whoever has the most relevant or the most present case law is that which will proceed in the ruling, because they have the most relevant and the most present or up-to-date case law. You know what I mean? So therefore, you would use that reference as a way to argue the case law and win the case law, because you have the most relevant thing pertaining to the situation. most relevant case pertaining to that case. So that supports your case. So if you want something to support your documentation, then use documentation that's recognized internationally by other nations. Like I just said in my last document, that Victorian Charter for the Rights of Human or whatever, that is obviously an internationally recognized charter, which now if I adopt that charter and incorporate that charter into my documentation by putting it in my memorandum of reference or memorandum of laws, then now that document being incorporated by what's called the laws of incorporation or the doctrine of incorporation, you incorporate other laws into your laws, and it gives your law the same ratification or the same power of those laws that you incorporated. Now, it's wise to know what these laws or read the whole everything of what you're incorporating, because you don't want it with certain parts you don't want to incorporate. So now you understand you have the choice of law. So you have the actual ability, did you know, that if you want to ratify, if you want to adopt certain provisions of a treaty or of a constitution or of a doctrine, and other parts you don't, you have the right to pick and choose. So you can say, we adopt Section 6 or Article 6 of the Constitution, which states that blah, 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 blah. We adopt that. You know what I mean? We don't adopt the whole Constitution, but just that article. We want to adopt that article, and we put that in our memorandum of reference or memorandum of law, whatever you call it. And now it's a part of your law. And it's just that simple. So you see what I'm saying? So that's the proper way to do it. See what I'm saying? Now when I be sending brothers my videos, I don't send my videos to brothers to keep some kind of arguing going on. I send these videos to educate brothers on the proper way on the way to do things, because obviously you don't know how to do things. Yes, you got the first part right, which is drawing up your own law, but now you have to know how to implement it. And how you implement that is by having consideration for the needs, interests, conditions of the concerned parties. So, for example, like I was saying, if you have in your constitution that, okay, like I said, I was talking about people can work using a social security card, and then it says something about like, yo, we want the Social Security Administration basically to issue each of our members $30,000 a year as a way of them, sustain. And I'm like, okay, now what you have to understand when you make such a demand is that the party that you're making the demand to, they have to actually be able to do what it is that you're demanding. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying like, yo, you go to rob a bank and you say, yo, give me $1 million. Nigga, if they only got, say, $100,000 in that bank, it's a little bank, it's not a big bank. They only got $100,000 in that bank. They can't physically or possibly give you $1 million if they don't have it. It's just physically impossible. So understand this. When you're dealing in the world of contract, commerce, whatever case may be, is more specifically commerce, contract, because all these agreements, declarations, they become contracts. You know what I mean? And all that stuff. So when you present your contract or your constitution, whatever case may be, to whomever, like he said, he filed it with the World Court. And he said, based upon the United Nations Declaration, or the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And he said, but yo, we don't got to go through the United Nations and deal with them and go through their laws and da-da-da-da. I said, bro, you mentioned the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And I looked it up for him right on it. See, that's what I'm talking about. When I start putting facts in people's face, they talk about all this, man, I'm a man. Niggas got to man up. Messiah, don't call yourself a god. You not a man. And da-da-da, you scared to stand up and nigga, you can't even have a conversation on the phone without hanging up the phone. Like, who's not a man? That's what women do. When women can't take the heat and stuff gets too hard for them and they can't take it, they hang up. That's shit that women do. But you online talking all this man shit, man up, and trying to talk with all this deep voice and authority. And I can't even say deep voice, this scraggly ass voice for all them goddamn cigarettes you've been smoking. Like, come on, man, stop it, man. Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop with the bullshit. So anyway, people don't consider the interest, conditions, and the concern of the concerned party. So, like I was saying, if the Social Security Administration, if they don't have it in their policies to say, "Oh, we're able to accommodate this guy's constitution because he said he's indigenous and we owe them and we have the rights to do and we have to give each of his members $30,000 a year because he said so. He's the sovereign heir of the land, and he's come back to reclaim everything, but yet." He's still contracting himself in our contractual agreements, which makes him in bondage to us. So maybe he doesn't understand how to contract. Sorry, sir, we're not going to be able to give each of your members this $30,000 because we don't have it in our policies to do that, sir. Now, you can sit there and argue with them and get mad at them, come back and blow up the Social Security Administration. Like, nigga, they still can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I be talking about, man. People just be talking all kind of crazy stuff, man. Now, if you were to research the policies of the Social Security Administration and find something in there that says, oh shit, they're able to, if a person makes a conscious decision that they don't want to wait until the age of 65 or 72 to receive their Social Security benefits, there's a form 2507, whatever, and if you fill out this form, you can get access to your Social Security benefits earlier than the set age that we normally do. Maybe there's something in it. And actually, there actually is. I got to look for that shit or whatever. But there actually is a form. Some people can do that. I know a couple of people that did that. Sometimes if you have like disabilities or if you aren't able to work for some reason or whatever, because of injury or something like that, you're able to get like not only workers' comp, but like some like social service benefits or like disability benefits. They will be considered disability benefits, but they're coming out of your Social Security account. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got Social Security, you got Social SSI, whatever, Social Security insurance. That's all insurance. Just like, and the reason why you have insurance is because through the Social Security number, how long we've been working, that number, all the labor that you've been doing and producing, that's been gaining equity. But being that you're considered abandoned property, and they had to give you a number and a name and give you a allowance to operate in commerce, unknowingly that the fact that you're supposed to really be a private banker and be dealing in your own private stuff, but they got us in the public matrix, and they don't tell you everything you're supposed to know. So anyway, so we just think this is the way it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know about self-determination. We don't know that we have the right to do things the way that we choose, the way we see fit. However, you know what I mean? But however, we can do that, but also we have to have consideration for the concerning party. So, for example, if you like you know, like, come on, and this is just universal respect. Like, cause some people be taking that sovereign shit to a whole nother degree. Like, oh, I'm sovereign, so I don't have to respect other people's universal rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sovereign. I own my property. I got private property. I got neighbors next door to me. But since this is my private property, I can play loud music all day, disturb my neighbors. I can burn fires in my backyard and cloud up their freaking backyard when they try to have a barbecue or trying to have a family gathering or something because I'm sovereign. This is my land. It's private land. Like, no, bro. Like, that's just idiocracy. You know what I'm saying? You have to be still respectful and respect the laws of nature, the laws of the universe, you know what I'm saying? Universal laws. Because if not, then you're not truly acting as a sovereign, you know what I'm saying? Quote unquote, you know what I mean? Because a sovereign is responsible. If a sovereign is a king, right? A king is responsible. A king conducts himself by knowledge, which is wisdom. A king is wise, you know what I'm saying? So, and not just what you say, but what you do, how you act, how you conduct yourself. So, like, come on, man. We got to be wise, man. People be calling themselves leaders and kings and all this sovereign rulers and all that shit, but you don't know how to rule as a sovereign. You still thinking like a minority. You know what I'm saying? Which is a child who needs adult supervision because you don't know how to handle your own affairs. You know what I'm saying? So instead of concentrating on talk about the Social Security Administration giving each of your members $30,000 a year, which is not going to happen, maybe you need to focus on developing a gross national product. You know what I'm saying? A domestic gross product in which your nation can make money off of annually. And then you take a certain percentage of that as a tax from all the money that you make from that gross product, and you put it back into a savings, which will go back into the manufacturing, reproduction, and redistribution of that national gross product. How about that? Damn, I just dropped a bomb on you. I just gave you a heavy ass jewel. How about that? Because that's really self-independence, self-determination. Not saying, yo, we sovereign from these people, and then but we gonna make them give us this, that, and the third. Yeah, all right, man. Good luck with that shit. And that's some white people shit. I don't even believe in that good luck shit. But like, I had to hit you with that for some shit like that. That's some shit like white people will be like, yeah, good luck. Good luck with that, buddy. Because that shit will never happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how sometimes you go for like a job or whatever, and you talk to the person at the door, and they're like, "Oh yeah," at the desk, whatever. Like, "Yeah, I was just seeing here, come here, see if you were hiring or whatever." Da da da. And she'd be like, "Oh no, unfortunately," they love that word, unfortunately, because they want to put in your mind that you're not a fortunate person. You don't. Fortune is not in your existence. Everything they deny you of is always unfortunately. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that because da da da. So you know. You just feel unfortunate all the time, every time you get denied. So anyway, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you know what I mean? I'm just saying, man. Let's just be real. So like I say, so now if you're going to try to contract with other people, you have to consider their interests, their conditions. You know what I mean? So in other words, like the Social Security Administration, they have a certain interest, a certain policies, conditions, and ways that they function. So if you're demanding something of them that doesn't coincide with their policies, then they're not going to be able to enforce that policy. There's no policy to enforce. It has to be within their policies. You know what I mean? It's just like saying if you set your own constitution in the way that you govern, and somebody came to contract with you and they said, well, whatever, I don't care about your laws and how you say you self-govern. These are my laws and you gotta do it this way. You know what I mean? This is the whole point of people declaring themselves as declaring their self-determination and self-autonomy and things of that nature, and declaring it on the record, so therefore their rights can't be violated. And if they are, there's international court of justice, there's federal violations and all of that, because now the science is this, what's known as the supremacy clause, and I'll maybe end on this because I don't want to go too long, and I always say that, but I end up going bad long. But anyway, but I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. You know, I'm long-winded. I'm trying though. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, all right, we 42 minutes in. Another another 18 minutes or so. We'll wrap this up. Leave it off on the hour. So anyway, you would want them to respect your policies or your laws and bylaws, your jurisdictions, things of that nature, and you would not allow them to come and violate how you do things. So that means that if you're going to come into a contract, which is a mutual agreement, then you obviously have to have what's called a meeting of the minds. And then you will then have consideration for each other. Like, for example, you watch the show Power, you watch the show Ghost, chapter 2, you know what I'm saying, with Tariq, whatever. Recently, in the past shows or whatever, Monet, she went to war with the dude Unique, right? You know, over the whole drug game and all of that, and, you know, who was on the block and who was going to control the territories and all that, you know, jurisdictional wars in the drug game, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, just giving an example to explain this to you, you know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all, a lot of people familiar with the show. So anyway, they met in the park or whatever. They had that talk or whatever, like, yo, you know, shit is getting crazy. And he was telling like, yo, you know how this shit is, Monet. You of all people, you know how this shit is. No, part of stuff, I'm bugging. That's not Monet and Unique. That's Rock and Raquel and Unique. Raquel is Canaan's mother in Raising Canaan. Pardon me, I was mixing the shows up. In Raising Canaan, his mother was politicking with Unique, who was another like drug dealer or whatever, and they was like, before they went to war, they was politicking with each other, you know what I'm saying, showing consideration, like, yo, listen, man, you already know how this shit is, man. The streets need a body, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They spot got hit up. You already know niggas gonna react. You know what I'm saying? Da 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 da. So you know what I'm saying? So they was politicking to have consideration for, what is basically known among them. Like, yo, you know how it is, man. You know how it is on the other side. You know how this shit go. You know what I mean? Ain't no love in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Da, 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 whatever. So, yo, it is what it is, man. Like, yo, you got to accept these terms. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, listen, you got this side, whatever, and I got my piece over here. You do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? And they whatever, they branch off and they peace. But then when people start getting greedy and want to move in on the other territory, now you out of your jurisdiction, you crossing over into their jurisdiction. So now they have to enforce their gangster law because you moving in on their jurisdiction. So now they like, fuck that shit. We gotta go lay shit. We gotta lay a nigga down. We gotta the streets need a body and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So they get on their gang. They enforce their gangster laws or their gangster provisions so that their laws are not violated. Because niggas know, like, yo, this is our area. Don't come over here with that. Da, 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 you know what I mean? So it's the same shit. You know how I go. You know what I mean? So basically, so what I'm trying to say is, like, in contract law, people have consideration for the others parties, for the concerned parties' needs, interests, and conditions. You know what I'm saying? And that's just life, man. No matter where you go, what realm you dealing with, you know what I mean? So, like I was saying to people, man, stop all this huff and puff talk, because you ain't blowing no houses down. You know what I'm saying? You ain't blowing no houses down. Stop it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of talk, man. And once again, please stop running my name every time you want to do a live, because you need to feed off of me. You know what I'm saying? That's it's not original, black man. That's some bloodsucker shit. That's some 10%, some white, some devil shit. Why you got to bloodsuck off my name, bro, to try to feed into what you need to say? Just say what you need to say. You ain't notice I said what I said, but I didn't say your name. But however, I am going to send you this video so that you can hear it for yourself, because I'm talking about you. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't got to put your name out there because I'm not trying to get clout off your name, nor am I even going to give you that much attention. But whoever does know who you are, they know who you are, and they know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it is what it is. But it's like it's just mad whack how people just be, talking all this high shit. And just you don't even have no solutions, bro. You've been talking that same stuff you've been talking since the first time I ever spoke to you, man. That same old shit, man. Like, nigga, God, man, that shit is depressing. I do not like to hear all of that. They've been doing this to us, and and these motherfuckers, and they've been motherfucking raping our women and cutting our balls off, and not like I can't face the reality of that. Like, bro, that's a reality we've been facing for how long? Do you really need to, in 2021, be reiterating that shit? And then, like I said, if you are, what's the after effect? What's the aftermath? Like, what? Okay, now what? You done said all of that, and every time you come on your damn live, you say the same damn thing. So you done said all of that. So now what? Stop wasting all your energy talking about me and talk about whatever. Go make your speech. Get together, whoever you need to get together, and go and make your speech. And then after that, if they don't want to respect your rights, then I guess they got to get these hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Stop it, man. Stop it. So, this was a very good article right here, though, that gave a lot of good insight on self-determination. You know what I mean? And most likely this last line right here kind of sums up the gist of what I really wanted to implement out of all of this. Like, you can declare self-determination, but there's a way to do it. You know what I mean? And this is not following the white man's rules and blah, 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 blah. Because you acting like you don't know that we the original people. So if we've been on this planet longer than the white man, do you not think that we was dealing in contracts and treaties and international agreements way before the white man was even on the planet? So come on, bro. Stop it, man. Like, stop acting like you don't know that this is your science. This is your form of government, only mimicked by these actors, you know what I'm saying? So if you the original and you the director, you know what I'm saying, not the dictator, but the director, then reclaim your script. Like I tell people all the time, man, life is a script. And if you don't write your own script, someone will write it for you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't direct your own life, someone will play you or put you in a role as an actor to play a role as an actor. So in other words, I'm not trying to play any role and act any kind of way. I'm going to be the director, the self-determined director of my own life. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? All that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? People be talking about, I don't know. But like I said, they have no solutions. I want to see the solutions. People be talking all of this rhetoric and all of this rant talk. You know what I'm saying? Where are the solutions? I don't ever hear nobody talk about solutions. Well, how are we going to do this step by step? How are we going to do this, that, and the third? What is the law that backs that up? What is the information that supports us being able to do this? And now that we have the information that not only supports us on how to do this, we have the knowledge, the strength, and the courage to now go and do these things. And then we're going to do them. But if you don't get the people into the know of how to do things, then they ain't even gonna know what the fuck they doing. Duh. So like I said, you got a lot of people out here gathered up. Now, you only telling them the side of, yo, we gonna come together, we getting dressed up, we gonna go out here, make our speech, we gonna say this, we gonna say that, da-da-da-da-da-da. But you're not telling them that you're being ignorant of the laws that be, even though you may not agree with them, even though they may not be righteous, even though they may not be what we want, but they do exist. Just like saying, oh, okay, I want that money that's in that bank, but I'm just going to ignore the fact that there's mad security guards in there with guns, and there's a lady behind the desk that as soon as she sees me pull out this gun, somebody's going to hit a button, and there's going to be even more cops coming. And when they come, they're going to shoot me the fuck down. Am I going to be ignorant of that fact, or am I just going to be so hell-bent on getting the money, I'm going to just run in the bank and just ignore all of that? Like, come on, man. Think, man. Think. You got to think. Steps ahead. Stop this checker shit, man. You checkerhead ass niggas, man. God. Got my name in your mouth. My name? You nigga, you talking shit about me, nigga? I know you ain't talking about shit, nigga, you love my style, nigga. Every time you do a video, you got my name in your mouth, man. Stop it, bro. Stop it. You can't even do a video without mentioning my name. Why is that? Why is that? That means that, and you talk about, Lord Messiah, you ain't no God and you ain't that. Well, bro, if I'm the energy source for every time you go live, then nigga, I am your God. You know what I'm saying? I am your God. I am your source of energy that motivates you to do whatever the fuck you do and talk about whatever you talk about. Because prior to Lord Messiah even sending out the post I sent out a couple months ago on the Culture Day talking about freedom, and you responded and built with me about your Constitution. Before that day, bro, you was like a hermit. You wasn't even building. You wasn't making no lives. You could go and check your channel to show and prove that. You wasn't doing no live. You wasn't even talking about your Constitution. Like, you sent that shit off years ago, whenever you sent it off, and you went back to sleep. And you waited on the white man to give you some kind of correspondence, which you never got. Because, as I showed you, you sent your documentation to the wrong place. And then when I showed you the right place to send it to, which is the Secretary General of the United Nations via the Office of Legal Affairs, oh, man, we don't got to do that, man. See, that's arrogance and ignorance, cognitive dissonance. Damn, that shit rhyme too. I should put that in a rhyme. That's arrogance and ignorance, cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is where a person is so stuck in their belief system or what they think is right or how they do things that a person can present information to them and they'll sit there and ignore the information because they just so stuck in their way of doing things, or they think that the way that they doing things is the right way, and you're just not going to listen to nobody else tell you something that may be actually right and beneficial because you're stuck in your own way. So that's why I say you're a dictator. You're not a leader. A leader has understanding. A leader has empathy, compassion. A leader has he's stern when he needs to be, not all the time because you're grumpy and you mad and you got some kind of hell-bent anger that you just want to gather people up to execute. And like I said, that's blind rage and misdirected energy. You're going to get fucking people hurt out there following your ass, man. Fuck out of here with that dumb shit, man. I wish I would run around doing that dumb shit you talking, all unorganized. Don't even know the steps on how to do shit. Man, get the hell out of here, man. But anyway, man, let me stop and finish my rant, because now he got me going into a rant because of, the nonsense he didn't spew out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, stop using my name to stop trying to, the lady said, stop trying to sourize my name. People gonna do anything they can to try to store you. To store you. Whatever the fuck that means. But yeah, I know y'all see that shit on YouTube where the lady was talking like, see, that's why I don't listen to what people say about me. You know what I'm saying? People, because you know what I'm saying, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to civilize you. They're gonna try to civilize your name. Like, what the fuck does that mean? But anyway, man. But yeah, man, that's what they do, man. That's what they do, man. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do anything they can to try to store you. To store you. Guess she was trying to say destroy you, but store you. Anyway, let me stop clowning around though, man. But yeah, but on a serious note though, the last sentence, the principles and fundamental rights to self-determination of all people is firmly established in international law. That's right. Right. And exactly. These last two sentences define exactly the major 2 points of what I was building on, which is those 2 points. The fact of the fact you have to have consideration for the interest conditions of the people. If you know how you contract, especially internationally via treaties, declarations, proclamations, things of that nature. And also the principle and fundamental right to self-determination of all peoples and firmly established international law, right? So like I was talking about customary law. Customary law is actually a firmly established aspect or part of international law. You know what I mean? Because it's respected internationally. A people's customs, you know what I mean? Like, for example, you got certain Islamic states, nation states that where they have the Quran as their jurisdiction. The Quran is their law, like literally. You know what I mean? So they use that as their jurisdiction, as their ordinance of or delegation of authority, so to speak. You know what I mean? So, and that's universally acknowledged. So that's why even you look at the Taliban and all of that, people talk about the Taliban and ISIS. So like, man, don't you know fucking Bush and all of them? They hired them niggas, man. He even said it in his damn interviews. Bush, he was working with the Taliban. He paid them money basically to do these so-called terrorist acts, so that then he could use the media to project some image that there are some terrorists out there. Look what they're doing, man. They were a paid fucking terrorist group, just like George Soros had the group Antifa interacting in the middle of the Black Lives Matter protests, which turned into so-called riots because you had people coming in the middle of the protests, purposely causing riots and causing fights and burning fires and all kind of crazy shit and causing disturbances, which would turn the so-called peaceful protest into a violent display. But this was all done in knowledge just too. They're playing chess. And what the so-called elites do is they fund both or all sides of the war. So no matter who wins, they all come out on top. So once again, like I've said many times, so-called George Soros, who's a damn international terrorist, if you ask me, he actually funds Black Lives Matter. He funds LGBT, and he also funds Antifa. So peep the big ball of confusion. So while the Black Lives Matter is out there having a so-called peaceful protest, and then the LGBT is riding on the bandwagon of the Black Lives Matter because, as you know, they used the Civil Rights bill, which states that people can't be discriminated against due to their color, origin, national origin, race, ethnicity, and it says sex or sexual preference. So obviously that addresses those who choose to have a sexual preference that's not of the norm. You know what I mean? So they use that bill to enforce rights. But not only the bill, the money. It's the money, y'all. And this I'm gonna tell so-called black people as well. And like I say, stop calling yourself black, develop a nationality. But stop calling yourself that because you ain't gonna get nothing done. Also, brother Reggie, as I try to tell him on Sinetta show, in which, see, like I said, I got power, God, because when I say shit, motherfuckers don't even put the thing is they ain't even post that show because of the one thing I came in and said in like less than 2 minutes. Damn, you don't even post a whole 2-hour show because what I said in 2 minutes, because it's true. Because it's fucking true. Fucking Dr. Reggie, brother Reggie, or whatever, was doing his presentation on the Black City Sovereignty Plan. And I only implemented to him for the fact of on the SS 181 form, which is a damn form that they use, whether we like it or not. See, this is the thing we got to understand, man. Whether we like shit or not, whether we agree with it or not, there's certain shit that's set in stone. And you got to either destroy that fucking stone or create a new stone to create a new law. Otherwise, that law is going to be what it is. Like, come on, man. It is like really, like, come on, duh. You wanna build a building on a plot of land, but there's already a building there. So unless you contract with whoever owns that building to either remove that building or either buy out the building and make it your own, then guess what? That building's gonna be there. Duh. So the same thing about the law school as well. After the 50 years is up and that contract is up, don't you know that there's many contractors that probably already have contracts in place to say that when those gods and earths are done with that law school over there, we want that plot of land, and we have contracts already in place with the state so that we can get that land. I'll be trying to tell people we need more than just a declaration of adverse possession on the land. We need more than that. And if it's in the will, because I was told by Allah's grandson that Dora has it in the will. The name of the school is in the will that was passed on from the father to Dora. So it's also in the will. But now let's say if the will is not kept up and there's no one here to enforce the will, you know who's going to get that plot of land, right? So we got to understand contract law. And I'm not saying that we don't. But what I'm saying is that we need to start teaching in these things as a nation, because if the certain people or the said couple of individuals that may be there that do have this knowledge and when it comes time to whatever they're going to execute, what if they're not here when that happens? And they was the only few individuals, just like Umar, rest in peace to the God. Umar passed away recently, like a couple of years back. So like like a year or so ago. And whatever his position was, if he didn't pass down a torch or teach somebody to take that position, then that means that man went back to the essence with all that knowledge of his position and everything he was doing. So this is why we got to understand the laws of succession, as I'll be teaching about, how you have to pass transcendental knowledge. You have to pass down the knowledge on to others, and not only pass it down verbally, but put it in writing in the way of a provision of a will or the provisions of a trust, and designate someone as a trustee to carry out those provisions, to carry out those laws. That's how you do stuff, man. That's how nations do things. But I don't know how long I got to keep saying this and implementing and emphasizing this, man. Like, because I know this information I'm talking about is very important. It's vital. It is vital. This ain't just no, oh yeah, he talking about self-determination and wills and trusts and self-rule and getting sovereign and autonomous and stuff. Yeah, we are sovereign. We don't need to do all of that. We good. Really? Okay. So we sovereign and autonomous and all of that. Why the majority of our nation members, whatever nation you may be in, you got a state ID in your pocket, don't you? I better realize what that state ID means, man. Because y'all acting like it has no relevance. Y'all better realize what that social security number is. Because y'all acting like it has no relevance. Y'all better know what that birth certificate is, because y'all acting like it has no relevance. You better get to know why it's relevant and how, if you want to make some kind of counterclaim, how to make that relevant. But y'all don't care about none of this stuff, man. Y'all want to live in the matrix, do what y'all do. Yeah. Fuck Messiah. I don't want nobody to hear all that shit he be talking. This nigga always talking like he's so fucking smart, man. This nigga talking about he know every fucking thing. Nobody want to hear all of that shit, man. I want to do my lives, and I want people to listen to me, and I want to act like I really know some shit. That's what I want, man. Nobody want to tune in the Messiah channel, hear him dropping all that high science, and he's actually sitting here reading it right off the page so you can see the actual definition of stuff, and then he goes and breaks down his interpretation, and he's very elaborate and eloquent with it. I can't talk like that. Man, I'm hating on this nigga, man. Fuck that nigga, man. I mean, if he tries to post something on my page, I'm going to tell him, yo, why are you posting stuff on my page? This isn't relevant to my post. But you didn't even do the knowledge to what I posted. But, oh, no, it's from Lord Messiah. That's that high science knowledge stuff I'm not trying to get into. So automatically I'm going to say, yo, this ain't got nothing to do with my post. But you didn't even do the knowledge to it. Ain't that what we do, God? The knowledge? Ain't that number one in the mathematics? The knowledge? You're supposed to look, listen, and observe before you say anything and think that it's wisdom or think that you're saying something wise. You can't be wise if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's not knowledge. That's not knowledge and wisdom. You got to know first, do the knowledge so you know, then speak on something. Then you know what you're talking about. Knowledge, y'all. Peace.